Hello, freak bitches. What about the ideas that the universe is in a constant state of contraction
No,
and
it isn't.
expansion?
Nah,
No,
nah, nah. Well, I mean, some
that's
people
been
think that.
abandoned.
No, it's not been abandoned. Some physicists still argue that there's a cycle because it
Right.
looks nice, and they are.
Okay.
But I think most people. I mean, there's some people who are arguing for that.
Do you think they're just trying to tie up something neat?
Well, I think they're trying to tie up their ignorance in something that isn't any more plausible in the picture that it expands forever. And as far as we can tell, the most likely possibility is that our universe will expand forever. But to make you a little bit happier, it's quite possible. The best pictures that we have of the early universe is that our universe isn't unique, isn't alone. That there are many universes. We call it a multiverse, and that at any instant in time, in kind of a cosmic super time, there's always a universe being born. So that multiverse might be infinite and eternal.
Where are they?
Outside of our universe.
How's that even possible?
Of course it's possible.
I understand. I'm not questioning it.
Okay,
I just would like you to define it.
Well, first of all, the simplest possibility is that they're outside the region we can see, right? For example, the edges of our visible universe, space is expanding faster away from us than light. Because, we taught you in school nothing can travel faster than light. You may remember that from school.
Right.
We lied. Okay. Well, no, you have to parse it more carefully like a lawyer. Nothing can travel through space faster than light, but space can do whatever the hell it wants. So locally, as I told you, the radio host is at rest. They're not moving, and the other end of the galaxy, at the other end of the visible universe, and we're at rest. But the space between us is expanding, so that galaxy, like a surfer, is being carried away from us faster than light. Relative to the water, the surfer isn't moving, right? But relative to the shore, the surfer is, right?
Right.
Okay, so this galaxy is not moving relative to its local surroundings, but it's moving away from us faster than light. And like a surfer in an undertow, they can swim really fast in the water, but if the water's moving away from the shore, they'll never make it back to the shore, right? And so that galaxy, the light from that galaxy is traveling through space at the speed of light, but if the space in between us and the galaxy is moving faster than light, then the poor light can never make it to us. We call that a horizon.
Wow. So the space is traveling too far for the light to reach us. So
too fast.
Space is too fast.
So this light can't catch up with the expansion of space, and it never gets to us. And that galaxy disappears from our causal horizon, we call it. We'll never be able to see it. We'll never be able to interact with it. We'll never be, okay? And it could be that there are different regions so far away from us where space is expanding faster than light, which have a very different history than our own. So there could be, space could be infinite. Just our simple space that we know of and love could be infinite in extent, and different regions of that space had different histories. And some of those regions, everything we can see, we know emerged from a single point. Okay? We can tell that. We can tell that by measuring the Big Bang expansion of everything we see and working backwards. And the universe, our visible universe, was once smaller and smaller and smaller. If we go back in time, we can actually follow the laws of physics back to the earliest moments of the Big Bang until those laws break down, and we can make predictions about what the universe should look like. All those predictions agree exactly with the observations we make, which tell us that that picture works. But another region, if you wish, could have come from a different Big Bang.
But is that another universe, or is it a part of the universe that we can't see?
Here's how we've changed. And this is semantics, but non-trivial semantics. Namely, when I was a kid, universe meant everything.
Everything, right.
But we say that's a pretty stupid definition. A better definition is an operational one. Universe means that region of space with which at one time we could have communicated, or one time in the future, even if the future is infinite, we might communicate with. Because that describes the region of space where cause and effect works.
Some measurable distance.
Yes. And so we think of a universe as that region which could, throughout which everything could affect everything else, ultimately, in an infinitely long time. And in that picture, universes can be restricted in size. And then other regions which could never have affected us, and which will never affect us in the future, we call other universes.
I see.
And now there are many different versions of a multiverse, but that's the simplest version. And this picture we call inflation, which I just did 2 little clips associated with the new book. One was for a publisher and one was for Big Think. One is a the universe in under 2 minutes. So you can look up online, look for Lawrence Krauss Explains the Universe in Under 2 Minutes, where I talk about this cosmic expansion and how it might mean there's a multiverse. But the other is, I explain the universe in terms of this beer bottle that I talked about to you earlier. So that's a video, you can watch that. But this theory of inflation, which actually says our universe, the qualities that we see of our universe can best be explained if some early time in the history of the universe, when it was a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a second old, it had a huge expansion suddenly and increased in size by 30 orders of magnitude in size in a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a second, which is, by the way, particle physics suggests is highly plausible, even though, okay, and then it would produce a universe that looks more or less like we look like, and it's right now the only explanation of how that would cause the universe to look like what it looks like. But the neat thing about inflation is it's eternal. So inflation, that puffing up ended in our universe, and then boom, a hot big bang followed it. Okay, so the universe puffed up by a huge amount, then all of that energy, which was stored in empty space, got released like in the beer bottle, and we got a hot big bang, and the rest is history. But that's locally. But somewhere else, between us and there, space is still expanding exponentially. And faster and faster and faster. And only maybe somewhere else today, boom, like an ice crystal forming, boom, that region of space is suddenly left inflation. And maybe a gazillion years in the future, there'll be another region of space that's expanding away from us so much faster than light, so we'll never know about it, where suddenly that region leaves inflation, and boom, another hot big bang happens. And it turns out in each of those hot big bangs, after the inflation ends, depending upon how it ends, the laws of physics could be different in that universe. And so we tend to think it's quite likely that there are many, many separate regions of space, and in fact it's eternal, so such regions are forming eternally for all time, and there are hot big bangs happening in many regions, and the properties of each of those regions, whether they're conducive to forming galaxies and stars and planets and people, may be different. So we could say, logically in that picture, that the reason the universe looks like the way it does is because we're here to measure it.
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay.
We should close with that. That is the mind blower of mind blowers.
Good.
Hello, freak bitches.
I don't know, but I feel like, remember when you told me that story about the monkey that you had when you were on Fear Factor?
Oh,
that
yeah, that
chimp,
monkey beat my ass.
that when you held that little thing, you thought, this thing's made of wood. That's what I feel when I get you up on my shoulder.
Oh.
I'm like, damn, this thing's made of wood.
That's
And
hilarious.
you start
Dude, I was telling Jamie, I think I've told you this story. I've probably told it to everybody I've met, that I have a little baby chimp on the set of News Radio, like way back in the day. It was supposed to be in some stunt. Did I tell you this? Yeah. I probably said it before. This little motherfucker was on my back, and he hit me a couple times, and I was stunned. I was like, oh no, this is not what I thought it was. Like, I thought it was like a little person. Like, oh, this little person thinks he's a badass. Let me just calm him down. No, he got on top of me, just hit me a couple times on the back, and I was like, what in the fuck? I just was thinking it immediately. I started doing the math in my head and thinking what it would be like to be confronted by a full-grown chimp.
Okay, well, that's my argument with the silverback versus grizzly. You said grizzly.
Because grizzlies are even more motherfucking badass than a chimp. A grizzly can't, like, there's no way a chimp can outrun a grizzly. There's no way. Not a chance in hell.
What's I don't know if
Right?
that's true. What is a silverback full speed?
Have
you seen one of those things coming through the bamboo?
That a grizzly can outrun a silverback.
Or whatever they come
I
through?
know it. I feel confident. I think chimps are faster than gorillas, and I think a grizzly can outrun a chimp.
Jamie, lie for me.
I think there's no way the gorilla's getting fucked. He's getting, he's doomed.
I'm telling you right now.
Big ass interior
I know
grizzly.
what your hands feel like when they shake mine. So I would be, I guess I'm not like a grizzly, but
You're a giant dude.
a
Like, what do we got
silverback
here?
would crumple you like a empty pop can.
It wouldn't even be like, he wouldn't even feel you. He would go through you like whipped cream. 25 miles an hour, top speed. What does it say it feels like? 25.
It
What
feels
does that
like
mean?
25.
Similar
Actual
animals.
speed's 34, but it feels like 25.
I don't understand what that means.
This is from someone riding its back. Get to a different website.
Is that what this is? Is that really what this is?
I don't know, I'm trying to see what that means.
Oh my God, I love the name Wapiti. Where'd that come from? Do you know where that came from for elk?
Speedofanimals.com. A wapiti?
Yeah, what is it? Where's that word come
That's
from?
what an elk is, dude.
I
A
never.
wapiti. It's actually a wapiti. You
Who
pronounce
called
that
it the Wapiti? Where's that name come
right.
from?
I've heard it.
It's a cool name.
Wapiti Wednesday is a hashtag. Cam uses it a lot.
Powerful Wapiti Wednesday.
Chimpanzees the same speed though.
Is it?
A chimp. I said a
25 miles per
silverback.
hour.
What?
I don't want to know what
Oh
a
my
chimp
God!
is.
But don't you think a chimp is
Get
faster?
that chump off there.
Don't you think a chimp is faster than a gorilla?
Give me a silverback.
Okay.
Have you seen a silverback come out of the frickin' the
They're
jungle?
fast.
2025.
See, told you. So
Yeah,
this is what I'm thinking.
So it's
I'm
speed
thinking
over
the bear
strength.
gets 'em.
It's just like an archery argument.
Yeah, maybe. I think the bear gets them.
Heavy arrow, slower speed, fast arrow.
But there's not
Right.
much of a difference in the speed. It's real close. And a grizzly bear is so much bigger, moving so much more mass around. Like if a big grizzly is 500 pounds, a silverback,
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, a big grizzly, interior grizzly, what is a big one? Like 900? Is that really big?
not a mountain grizzly.
What-
You can look it up. I
But
would
they're the
say
more aggressive ones,
let's
right?
just say 600 to 700.
And the really big ones are the coastal ones, right?
Yep.
Which they call brown bears for some
Brown
reason.
bears, yep.
Why do they call
Coastal.
them that? Because it's the same animal.
It's a different species.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah,
They don't interbreed or anything.
they're
like that?
bigger.
They're big. It's just a
Bigger.
totally different bear.
Yeah, one looks like a Volkswagen with hair, and one looks more like a Ford truck with hair.
It's one of those other things where the one that has the scarier name is like not the biggest one, which is weird. Like brown bear sounds like, oh, he's so cuddly. And you see
Yeah.
those buses
Polar
on
bear.
Kodiak Island. Yeah,
They
polar
sell
bear.
Coke.
Yeah. Klondike bars.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
would you
that's
do?
right.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I would
Fucking
not
polar bear's
go
your
up
buddy.
there to
Hey,
get
I'm
one.
your buddy. I live in a place where there's no vegetables.
It's a conspiracy theory. Polar bears brought that up.
Do you
They
think that
literally
it's-
made those to make themselves look cuddly so humans would be stupid enough to walk up to them.
Do you think it's like a nature trick? Like nature made them cool to look at so we don't mind as much that they're murderers?
I would argue Disney.
Fucking Disney, right? Like that Bambi movie. That
So
drew
a
lot of people
silverback
in.
is slower by 10 miles an hour.
5 or so.
Is there anyone that
Gorilla's
has that?
fucked. I told you.
No, but is there any strength of a silverback versus a grizzly?
I don't even think it's
and
comparable.
I say this saying I really respect grizzly bears and brown bears because you know that.
Well,
You
I
know
think
that.
that
I've
eased the
experienced them a
concerns of a
lot.
lot of grizzly bears and brown bears that were listening. in
Yeah,
on
they
this.
were. They're pumped.
I think that they're all dangerous and ferocious, and
I'm thinking silverback versus the grizz.
you think you would win?
Yeah, we
Maybe.
need people who listen to this podcast needs to put it in the post. We need to know what people want to know.
I wouldn't want to fight a 38-pound rat.
No
I'd be fucking terrified to fight a 38-pound rat. So the idea
Why
of
38?
I just can't put a number because that's a fucking giant rat, man.
Yeah, but you should have said 30, 40.
I know, but like, what's
38.
how
so
much does a house
37,
cat
you can
weigh?
get it?
What's a house cat weigh? Like 10 pounds?
No way.
Less?
That's Garfield weighs 10.
Okay, like 7 pounds, something like that.
I would think.
Something along those lines. Okay, now make it bigger. Like keep it like at what size does it become
First
totally
off-
unmanageable?
First off, if you're not wearing welding gloves, a 10-pound in shape house cat, you're
It'll
not
fuck
talking
you
like
up.
Garfield. You're
Yeah.
talking like, I don't know. Let's talk about a Conor McGregor Garfield coming in at 10.
Like a real good tiger cat, like one of them, you know, those ones like real common house cat ones that look like.
Well,
little-
picture this. If you grabbed a 10-pound mountain lion, do you think you can control that thing? There's no way.
my
they're-
neighbor is
38-pound.
my neighbor's a good buddy of mine, and he saw a mountain lion. And he saw a mountain lion when he was walking his dogs. He's got these little cutie dogs. He's walking his little cutie dogs, and he saw this fucking thing, saw its tail, and picked it up, picked the dogs up, and ran back to his house. And then
Smart guy.
got on a website and found out that they had tracked this animal, and that it had a collar on it. And they tracked it, and it got hit by a car on the 5. And he's explaining like how the whole thing went down. And I was like, whoa, like that thing. You were walking your dogs, and this big ass cat. It's like 120-pound plus cat.
So the actual cat that had a collar, he knew that's the one he encountered?
Yeah. He saw the collar, and then he went on the website, and you can track, because he'd found out that this cat had died, and when he found out the cat died, he went and the sound of whiskey.
Are you good over there?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. Trust me.
Your Yeti's
Talking a lot of stupid shit.
I know, you haven't even touched that.
Oh, I definitely have. How dare you? You're one of those guys? Bro, you're not even drunk as me, bro.
Quit bullying me.
Sorry. It's my instinct. What we were just what the fuck was I just getting to?
38-pound rat.
Oh, yeah.
Among other things.
So a silverback is essentially like a super primate, right? The most super primate.
Yes.
But a bear is one of the most super freak predator animal freak out things. Like if a bear was little, like a 9-pound bear, like the size of a 9-pound rat, was trying to kill you, you'd be freaking the fuck out. If it was running at you like a little tiny bear, you'd be fucking terrified. Now think of a giant one and realize how you are totally defenseless. And I don't think it's going to be that much difference for a gorilla.
I literally think of a silverback gorilla with the way they're built and they swing around. I think if he stood on the chest of a grizzly, he could grab its paws and literally rip its arms out and beat it with it.
Wow, King Kong was a good movie. I agree with you there. I enjoyed it as much as the next
I'm not
lad.
even thinking of Kong, but I believe that.
I don't think that's correct. I don't think they're that strong.
How much is the thumb? The thumb does give an advantage, though, right? It could grab.
Yes.
And
wait,
it's a little smarter.
Yes.
And move around a little faster.
Jamie. Great.
But
he just
the
brought
bear's
the
way
thumb in.
stronger. Way stronger.
Way stronger.
It could smack it once and probably knock
we
it
need
out.
to. Well, I've
just
seen
think-
that.
I think
I've seen a grown mountain grizzly hit a moose and can it.
Yeah, you told me that.
That I've seen.
You saw it with your own eyes, right?
But is there any solid information of strength of a silverback? There's not.
There's just a lot of people that have argued this on the internet for the last 5 to 10
We
years.
get dangerously
Why don't
close
they
to this
put-
argument. You know,
Seriously, why don't they put Thor's hammer on the ground and like put a taco in it or something to where a grizzly has to try to grab it and pull it off and have a sensor versus the silverback?
the grizzly definitely can't grab as hard because it doesn't have thumbs like we talked about. But I think that,
Yeah, but that's relative to a beating.
right.
How many fighters have a big ass and a lot of like leg power,
Right.
Krokoff, versus someone that's just sheer gorilla up top? Let's go there.
I just wonder how strong a gorilla really is in comparison to what's essentially like a giant dog. I just
What?
think he's gonna get fucked
Are you
up.
crazy?
You think
A
a gorilla?
silverback is equivalent to a giant dog?
No. A bear is. What I'm saying is
Fair.
a bear is like essentially like a giant
Possibly,
wild dog.
but well,
Why would I call a silverback a dog?
Train by day, JoeRogan podcast by night, all day.
January, February, March, April, May, June, 6 months.
Then the heavyweight division needs him.
Fuck yeah.
John Jones, first heavyweight fight. Brock Lesnar. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You imagine that fight?
The only
John
problem
would
is,
murk him.
do you think so?
Yes.
He'd murk him in the grappling?
I think you just completely
I
dominate
think
him.
fucking Stiopic would fucking rack him. You
Stipe-
piss that
Stipe
mother.
Miocic.
You piss that motherfucker off from Cleveland, and he'll fuck Brock Lesnar. Because he'll say it. You better do the fucking steroids. Stiopic is crazy. I love
Miocic.
that motherfucker.
Miocic.
Miocic, I love him.
I
He's
love
got
him
that
too.
immigrant mentality. Bring him on.
He's
Give
born in
him more
America.
Give him more fucking steroid. What's that?
You want
He's
another?
born in America.
Yeah, whatever the fuck
Yeah,
he is, but his name
definitely-
is Miocic. Okay?
definitely born
And
and
he's
raised
got
in
that
Cleveland, Ohio, but whatever.
He's got that fucking crazy blood in him, and he don't give a fuck.
Croatian.
He proved it. Listen, he proved it with fucking Overeem. He
Verdun.
don't give a fuck. Put him in there with
Oh,
Brock
yeah.
Lesnar. Go ahead, I dare you.
The Brock that
He'll
fought
rip his
Mark Hunt?
fucking head off.
Yeah.
That
Afterwards.
juice to the gill, fucking
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, who just ragdoll poor Mark
Mark
Hunt.
Hunt.
Fucking guy.
Yeah, but Mark Hunt's never been the kind of grappler that
No.
Stipe is.
No,
Stipe's way
dog.
better at defending
Get Stipe
takedowns.
in there.
Oh no, I think Stipe beats him.
And you know what? If he punches Stipe in the face, it's gonna get more steam out of his fucking ears.
When you saw
Go
what
ahead.
Stipe
He's not
did,
Go
to
touching-
ahead,
Mark
he's
I
not
dare
gonna-
him to bring
he
back.
won't land a
Brock
hit on
Lesnar ain't
Stipe.
coming back. Brock Lesnar ain't never coming
well, he's
back.
not going to come back and fight for a world title right
No,
away.
but he ain't
You
gonna
don't think
come
so?
not, bro.
No.
I think
If
it'd be
they
the only
That was the
way.
biggest embarrassment of
Good
the
Lord,
fucking
that would
year.
be crazy
That was
for
the
them.
biggest fucking embarrassment of the year. That
Why
dude.
would that be?
Embarrassment, bro.
What was embarrassing?
Just embarrassing him against Mark Hunt. They knew he was on the juice. He went in there loaded to the gills. It was just an embarrassing
Get him,
fucking
Joey.
thing. It was an embarrassing thing for everybody. And Mark Hunt had every fucking right to be mad. They put him in there with a guy that's coming off rocket fucking fuel. That dude just don't eat D-ball. Look at the size of his fucking head. He's taking shit that makes your fucking head grow. Okay? That's what they give to fucking pit bulls. I hope they put him against Miocic. I will fly to fucking Cleveland.
That gum is climbing out of your mouth.
He's so
Take a
passionate.
piece of paper.
I found the snot in my nose that was bigger than this gum the other day. I had to take the gum out to eat it. Anyway. I had a little thing
You
over
ate
here.
a booger?
Oh, it was so long. It was like a Coke book. I got a flashback from the 80s. I inhaled that motherfucker anyway.
Why did you eat a booger?
Because I love him.
Ew!
I love them. From time to time, I have a little pimple
No,
in my
no,
nose.
no, no,
And I
no,
squeeze
no,
it, and it just
no,
comes out like a
no,
stream.
no,
and it's got like a little clam.
Dude,
It's like
I
a
was on
clam.
board with you with all the Steve
No,
talking
Yeah.
shit.
Anyway,
You really
go.
eat boogers?
Listen, from time to time.
Oh, Jesus
When you do
Christ.
coke for 30 years, it's a habit. You wake up in the morning, pick one out. It's like a
Why
fucking
would
candy cane with coke on it. You inhale that motherfucker. It's like going to the dentist for free.
Oh, I will throw up on this fucking table.
Listen
I
to
swear
me.
to
Do you ever do
God.
this? Do you ever do
I
this?
feel lightheaded.
Listen to me.
While you're eating boogers.
Let's be honest with ourselves. We're all friends here. That was the most embarrassing fucking thing I ever seen.
I agree.
They knew he was on it, and they put that fucking animal in there, okay? And you know what, man? Go ahead. Keep doing those steroids. Put him in there against Spiopit. Whatever.
Miocic, for
I love
God's
that
sakes.
Cleveland motherfucker, dude.
Stipe. Just call him
He'll
Stipe.
kill him. He'll fucking kill him in general.
Stipe
I
will
I
was
kill
don't
him.
think they would ever be able to have him come off a suspension and fight for the title. That's
what?
not how it goes.
They've done it
Bro,
before.
$4 billion. They'll eat a scab off an Iranian's head right now. $4 billion. Right now, they're fucking sitting there going, we lost Ronda.
Take the gum out of your mouth. You drive me
We
crazy.
lost Ronda.
Give me a piece of
me a
paper.
tissue. Give me a tissue. We lost Ronda, and the only other thing we got is fucking Conor. He's having a baby. He don't want to fucking come back.
No, you know what you
So
got?
what do you
No,
want to
he's
do?
talking about he might come back right
And
after
what
the
they
first
want,
of the year.
but they don't want to give him who he's supposed to fight.
Who's he supposed to fight?
He's supposed to fight that fucking Khabib. End
Habib.
story. End of story.
Khabib.
No more
But they
fucking
would give
around.
him that.
No
They
more
would give him
fucking
that.
around. Well, then let's do it. Let's set it up.
No,
more
that's not a
fucking
money
around.
fight.
Yeah, I'm with Joey. Let's
Let's
fucking do it.
Let's cut the shit.
The
He don't need to
fuck?
fight Aldo. He don't need to fight nobody. He's number one, right? Or is your boy number one?
Tony?
Khabib's number one.
Okay, then that's the fight. Enough.
But hey, wait a minute.
That's
Tony
the
was
fight.
number one, and then Khabib became number one. Why did Khabib leapfrog Tony?
I don't know.
Who knows the rankings?
Because he
But
fucking
those
took
two should
Michael,
really
whatever.
fight.
But he's only fought a couple times in
I don't
like
know if
the
he's
past
what is he?
X
Is he
amount of
number one,
years.
brother?
Khabib's number one.
Well, that's the thing he did. Listen, he's fighting now. He's available today. He's available today. He's
Right.
available for Brooklyn.
Okay.
He said it when he fought against Michael Johnson. He's available for fucking
Number
Brooklyn.
one.
Okay, he's available for
Interesting.
Brooklyn.
Interesting.
Let's get Eddie against Raphael. That's a good fight. Let's get Edson back in there. People like watching him.
They're very.
Let's get
Eddie and Raphael
Boniel,
just
Dariush in there. We got some fucking people here, okay?
Yeah, a lot of good guys
We
here.
got a
Look
lot
at
of
them
fucking
everywhere.
good guys
Where the
there.
fuck are they? Why
this
aren't they
guy
fighting?
here, this kid here, he sells pay-per-views.
Donald Cerrone.
Cerrone?
Not 300,000, but he's always good.
300,000.
But he's
Damian
fighting at
Maia's
170.
good. Robbie Lawler, that guy there is good. Fucking, they got it.
Joey
They got
needs
it.
to be the matchmaker.
They fucking got it, okay?
Well, no, he.
Yeah, man, it's an interesting situation,
They got
isn't it?
plenty of good fucking fighters.
got a whole
They just
shitload
don't
of
want to
them.
give us the fights we
Right?
want to see.
No, they
That's
don't.
the
Talking
fucking
about?
problem.
They
What fight don't they want to
I
give you?
want to see
Conor.
Khabib. That's the fight.
Habib.
That's it. End of story. There's no Aldo.
Okay.
There's no Tony Ferguson. There's no babies. There's no nothing.
But he has a baby.
Brooklyn.
But-
he's got a baby.
But it's also not a
she's
big
white.
draw for him. It's not a big draw for him,
Who gives
Joey.
a fuck?
It's not.
You
A,
got
it's
three
not a draw
babies. I
for
throw
him.
$20 million on you. The babies wait 6 weeks.
But Connor's already got 20 million. That's the
Okay,
difference.
well, then
he wants to
he
take time.
he
The
cannot.
birth of his
That's
life
fine.
is more important than what the UFC
Okay,
wants.
I agree
He's
with
running
you.
the show.
I agree with you, but
He's
right
running the
now,
show.
then May 5th, Labor Memorial Day weekend, it's Khabib and him.
Habib.
Ferguson,
Habib,
give
say it.
Ferguson
Say Habib.
Habib.
Habib
Give
Nurmagomedov.
Ferguson Cerrone. Let's have some fun. Give Ferguson Cerrone. Let's have some fucking fun.
That's a fight.
Since we're all leapfrogging,
That's at 55.
Cerrone is not fighting 55 again.
I didn't say that, but we're all mixing. We're all mixing weights right now. Did we not say that before?
No.
They want to put Aldo against Khabib.
But no, Aldo's thinking about moving up anyway.
Moving up anyway, so who gives a fuck?
It seems like he's kind of chasing like a chess move.
Yes,
he's like chasing Conor up
He's
to
chasing.
55.
He wants that Conor fight.
He wants that fight. That's what everybody wants to see again, whatever the fucking order is. But the order that they're trying to put together is the order that I don't want to see.
Well, because they have to sell pay-per-views,
But no,
Joey.
they're going to do this, okay? This is the route, you fucks. The route they want to do is they're going to bring
Tell
him.
us, Uncle Joey.
They're going to bring him back against fucking the black dude at 170. That's the fight.
Tyron Woodley?
That's already been made at the thing. That's
Wait
going
a
to
minute.
come together.
Slow
Watch
the
it.
fuck down.
Watch it. Watch it.
Well, we just said that Woodley's going to fight Bisping in a catchweight fight.
I know. That's all great. They're going to fight. Watch.
You think that Tyron Woodley is going to fight
Tyrone Woodley. That was already established in New York. Tyrone Woodley. Tyron Woodley is already going to fucking fight him, okay? That's the first fight. Then they're going to try to, that's the fight they're going to put there at 170, maybe in May.
What happens to Khabib?
Then they're gonna, this is what, see,
So
this
you
is
think he's
this
gonna
is-
go to 170
This isn't
and fight
my
for the
fucking
title?
decision. This isn't my decision.
This is beyond you.
This is beyond me.
Yeah.
How do you know this? And I
Because
don't
I
know
already
this.
seen the setup at the fucking
but
New York.
I work for
Were
the
you
UFC.
fucking blind because you didn't see what I see?
But I talked to them.
I know you talked to them, but they don't tell you dick. They
But I'm
didn't tell
talking
you.
to the people
you didn't know
behind
they
the
were getting
scenes.
sold. You didn't know until
His
they
best
fucking
friend
sold.
owns it.
I did
I love
at the
it.
end.
I understand. But the problem is here that was the seed was already planted in New York. It was already planted. None of you motherfuckers saw it. What are you guys watching?
What seed?
The seed of him talking back and forth with Tyron
I did see that.
Woodley, okay? That's the fucking seed, okay?
Jesus Christ.
That's the fucking seed. They're gonna, he's gonna
it
look
smells
at,
like a zoo
He's
in
gonna
here,
look
by the way.
He's gonna look at he's gonna look at
smells like a
Khabib
zoo.
already at the press conference.
Khabib again.
Already Khabib, he said he doesn't fight enough.
Okay, what's going on here?
That's kind
That's
of
the-
Wayne's talking shit to
That's
him.
the seed, you dumb fucks. That's
Well,
the seed.
what's happening here? What is he saying?
He's just talking shit
He's
to him.
talking
But
shit to him.
can we hear what he said?
I don't think so.
It went on, and then
It's just Conor
afterwards,
talking
and then
shit.
Tyron said
He
some
might have
shit.
just said, hey. He
Did
might
it
have said
come-
hi.
No.
Did it come out?
Stop.
As to what he
Yes,
said?
it came out.
He said
see
something
this.
like, "You're lucky I don't come to 70 or
Hold
something
on.
like that."
Watch.
We can do it.
Look at him trying to be cute with
There's a
him.
moment here. There's a moment.
See?
here brewing. There's a
Hey,
moment here
bro.
brewing between Tyron Woodley and Conor
Yeah.
McGregor. They are
It got set up right there.
eyeing each other down.
Okay,
Tyron
so that's
Woodley
the
said
next
hello
fucking
to
fight,
Conor
guys.
It's
McGregor.
Conor saying we can do it at 70. We can do it at
Damn,
70.
Joey
Because who the
spotted
fuck
that
you people
shit.
don't see dick because you see what you want to fucking see. That's the next fight. He already planted the fucking seed. He's not gonna fight Tyron. He's gonna fight Tyron and killed more time for Khabib like they threw Dennis Seaver on him when Frankie Edgar was fucking lurking. When Frankie Edgar was lurking, they threw Dennis Seaver on him. Oh, well, Dennis Seaver's available. Dennis Seaver's available. You know,
Look at the color of his skin.
So
Look
now
how red he gets. Look
it's
how
in
red he
between.
gets.
Hey, he's talking some truth
It's
here.
in between fucking. He doesn't want to fight Ferguson. He's not gonna fight Tony Ferguson.
Why not?
It's not because, bro, it's too much height, and Tony Ferguson don't give a fuck. He's a
Here's
barbarian.
backstage
Who
again.
fucking farted? That is a horrible
That
fart.
was me.
It smells like a
it's a
straight
tremendous
zoo.
fart. It's a tremendous fart.
Smells like a zoo up
That
in
one
this
was.
bitch.
Oh, look at this. They are going
Don't
at it.
fucking tell me,
let's get
guys.
some volume on that. Can we get volume on that? What back there? Let hear this. Go all the way back. Way back. Here we go. Crank it up.
He's setting it up.
He's setting up the 170 belt. See? There's 8 guys there, guys.
You're
He
like,
said
a,
it's
woman
with that phone. Whoa.
Because
know what's
there's 10
crazy?
guys in the
He's
fucking
calling
room.
him out.
There's 10 guys in the
And
fucking
Tyron,
room.
look how drained Tyron looks.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Rewind it again.
Rewind
Let's hear
that.
it.
Rewind that. Rewind that. Shh, 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 shh.
What's up? Not much.
We need your assistance.
You hear that lady
He
terrified?
just said, "What's up?" and he stared him
Connor
down.
said, "What's up?" He said, "Not much." But meanwhile, you look at Tyron. Tyron looks so drained there when he made that weight. It's like right after he made the weight.
I'll tell you what's
the fight,
crazy.
guys.
I like
He's gonna go
Connor's
for 3
chances
belts.
in that fight.
He's going to go for 3 fucking
How crazy is
belts, guys.
that?
I
Do you
can't
really?
believe nobody
Yes.
ever saw this shit. He doesn't. He's not going to fight Ferguson because it's a fucking. Aerosmith. Guns N' Roses was Aerosmith on steroids, and Tony Ferguson is Little Diaz with fucking elk blood in him. You understand me? He don't want that kid. He don't want Tony Ferguson. He don't want Tony Ferguson. And Dana,
It's not a draw
Uncle
for him,
Dana,
Joey.
Uncle John, Uncle Bobby Dana is not going to let his nephew fight Khabib.
Are
Okay.
you kidding? Connor versus Tony is not a draw. That's
It's not a draw for Connor. I know he's
That's
your
a-
guy,
That's
Eddie.
a big fucking fight. Make
That's a
Tony
big
versus
fucking
Conor.
fight, though. That's a good
Even
fight
Tony
right
versus
there.
Khabib.
That's
That's
a
a
big
huge
fucking
fight.
fight.
Why don't you think they're making it, Eddie?
You tell me.
Why do you think they're making it?
It's not gonna sell. And I love these guys. Don't get me. I'm not clowning your guy. But as far as the average consumer buying a pay-per-view, that's not a sell. It's just not.
Hell yeah, it is. I disagree.
Connor fighting anybody is
Connor's.
a sale.
Conor fighting anybody's
Connor
a sale.
fighting a top challenger is always a sale. And Tony
For
Ferguson,
Conor.
but Tony Ferguson is most certainly a top challenger. When Nate Diaz fought Connor for the first time, was a giant fight because Nate Diaz had a name. And he's a bigger name than Tony, arguably, for sure.
Not even close.
Much bigger now after he beat
Before
him.
the Diaz
Before
brothers and Tony.
wasn't the same as it is now.
Brother,
It's a
the
different
Diaz
thing now.
brothers?
It's a different thing now. But he had it because of Nick, and Nick had all the Strikeforce success, Elite XC success. You know, all that's there's a lot of TV time there.
Nate was the Ultimate Fighter winner.
Nate, and then on top of that, Nick had just got done beating Anderson or fighting Anderson rather, and you know Nick is like a pretty well-known figure, right?
They
His
both
brother,
are.
they're both the Diaz brothers are like, so that's a different level. But having him take that fight on short notice too, but Conor was the main draw. Is my point.
Connor's the main draw.
Connor's
and
the
I
main
agree.
draw.
But
And
this
he's
is
the main
why
draw
Connor's
even
not
after
taking
the
it
fight.
because I agree. He's the main draw. If you're Conor and you're his manager, you're going, let's fight Tony, who's a tough fucking matchup, but he's not as big as the name as a guy like Nate Diaz at 55, who we're going to make more money, maybe not as tough as a fight, bigger name. So they're doing it from a business point.
And
That's why he's not fighting
you
Tony. That's
also-
why he's not fighting Khabib.
You also
Tony's
have
a
the
tough
option.
fight, horrible fight for him.
They're going to do a Russia card, and when they do a Russia card, they want to do a Russia card with Conor or with Khabib rather. So when they do a Russia card with Khabib, it's most likely going to be for a title, I would imagine.
It's a title.
It all depends if Conor accepts it. Remember,
Might not have
Conor
to be
has
Conor.
all the power.
It might be Tony, and it might be for an
Correct.
interim. And apparently they offered it to Tony, and Tony said that he wanted to make the same amount of money that Habib makes,
which is perfectly fine.
perfectly fine. But you know, they said nope. You got a contract. You got to honor your contract. That's at least how it's been explained.
Yes, that's how it's being explained. They go, no, well, you sign these contracts, you got to honor the contract.
Yeah.
But that only works one way. That only works for the UFC because they don't honor all the contracts, do they?
What do you mean?
If it works for them.
They can cut them. You have a 6-fight contract.
Right.
You've lost 2,
But that's
and
in
it's
your
boring,
contract.
You're cut.
It's in the contract that you can get cut. If it wasn't in the contract, there's guys who have fought and they fought out their entire contract.
For sure.
Right?
But I'm just saying,
Like
it's very one-sided.
Remember the early days? And Pedro Hizzo had this giant contract because they thought that Pedro was going to be the heavyweight champ. And so they were giving him like undercard fights. He was making $250,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tricky, man, because I get the idea that they would want to protect Conor, you know, and really set up the big money fights, especially now because he's the biggest guy. But then you got Conor, who's kind of fucking crazy. And he's like the way he John down Tyron Woodley.
I don't think it's Conor doing it. I think it from a business standpoint, they're going, what's the biggest fight pot? Let's say you have 3 fights left. Who are the 3 biggest names we can fight and to make this happen so you stay undefeated?
The biggest
and make
thing,
the most money.
He might not be undefeated. I mean, he's definitely not undefeated now, right? But the biggest thing is the Woodley fight because that's a 170
That's
pound
170.
belt.
That's a third belt, guys. That's a fight.
That's
if you didn't
insane.
see
Does
it,
the UFC
shame
give him
on
that
you.
much control?
Shame on you, motherfuckers, if you didn't see it. Number 2, listen, I'm not saying that Khabib is going to beat Conor, especially after I see him take the punch from Michael Conor. I'm not saying
Michael
he's
Johnson.
Michael Johnson. But the fight is Khabib. And then the next fight has to be Ferguson if he beats him. That's the way it is where I come
But
from.
Ferguson
When
and
it's not
Khabib
gonna be
can't
like-
wait. They can't wait. Like, Ferguson needs a fight, like, in the next 4 or 5 months. Khabib needs a fight in the next fucking 2-3 months.
Khabib said he'll fight in Brooklyn. And
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Ferguson
That's
will
a
fight in
month
Brooklyn.
from now.
What he
that's in
said
February.
when you interviewed him,
Yeah.
and he put the hat on your
I
fucking
understand.
head. He said he'll fight in Brooklyn.
He put the hat on my head every
They gotta
time I've been
promote
every
him.
time, right,
I know,
I'm
it's
sorry.
great. I fucking love it.
wearing that.
And you don't say dick to him.
No,
There's
he
nothing
looks
you're
at
gonna
me.
say.
He looks at me.
Yeah,
He
he
shows
go-
me the hat. I give him the nod. I'm like,
great.
yeah, I'll put that
Put
on.
the
I love
fucking
it.
hat on
I
and
like
shit.
that hat.
Now, Eddie, me as a fan,
as a
the
fan,
number
I
one
wanna
fight I
see
want
those.
to see is Tony versus Khabib. That's the fight.
That's a fight,
There's not
too.
a better matchup that
That's a
can be
great
made
fight,
in the
too.
UFC.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I like Tony versus Conor. I even like Habib versus Conor.
Yeah, I like them both.
Any of those.
I like
Any of
those.
I like Conor versus Woodley. I like that fight too.
That's
I like
the
that
fight, guys.
too.
That's the next money fight. But he's going to eventually.
I don't think the UFC gives them enough power to do that. They're
bro,
not going to let him get that
it's
much
about,
control.
It's all
You just
about
said
the
Conor has
Benjamins,
all the
baby.
power.
Yeah, he's got all the power.
Well, here's the thing about
do. You think
Woodley.
they can give him more
If
power?
Woodley loses to Bisping, if he
He has
loses this
enough power.
catchweight fight, he still keeps that 170
Yeah.
pound strap.
That's if that catchweight fight happens.
That's just
the
smoke
UFC
up
might be
your
like,
ass.
what? No, you can't
It's the
hold up
black-
two divisions.
It's Tyron against my boy Conor
I got to go with
McGregor.
Joey
Might
on
be
this
right.
one.
I'm telling you, they
he
planted
was
at the
going
thing.
after Tyron.
They planted the seed right there.
Well,
like,
When
You
does that
can't
ever
tie up two
happen?
divisions.
That's
I've been
ex-
backstage at UFCs all the goddamn
That's
time.
exactly
That shit
how it
don't
happens.
happen. Like dudes aren't just
and they're
fucking
going to push
nutting
him
up on
away
people.
from the Russian and
Conor
Ferguson
does.
I
for as
know,
long
but-
as they can.
I mean, but
and then
specifically,
they'll do what
we
they
got
did
video
after.
of
Hey, we
him
can't
and
talk
Woodley.
over each other.
No, they'll do the NASA thing when they go to interview him. They die in car accidents and shit. But that's the fight, guys. That's the fight right there that everybody wants to see, right off the bat. I'd love to see Conor and Khabib. I'd love to see Ferguson and Khabib. But they're not going to do that right off the bat. They're going to hope that they fall off a cliff or a plane goes down. Let's give him the money fight, which is 170. Can he get the third belt?
Here's
Smart
the thing:
thinking,
if he
Joe.
loses, if he does lose, if he goes up to 10 and
Nothing
beats
happens.
Tyron, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. He has
Yeah.
nothing
It's
to do.
risk-free.
It's
Yeah.
risk-free.
Same thing with that first Nate Diaz fight.
Okay? Remember who runs this show?
But then what do you do with what do you do with Tony and Khabib?
They go to Bellator.
No,
They're going to get pissed off. They're going to say, fuck you, UFC. We can't take this no more because
here's
you're hiding
another
this
thing.
kid from us.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
So UFC 207, that was one of the craziest events of all time, and watching that main event it was surreal. First of all, it was surreal because my body was all weirded out because I was a little out of it,
About to pass out.
but it was about the shit all over my chair. But it was just bizarre. Like that was the least competitive, like, main event other than Aldo and McGregor, but that was one dynamic shot to the chin that knocked him out. Like everything about that was off.
Can you think about another main event championship level where it was that kind of big of a discrepancy? You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even a fight, and I think leading up to it there were some kind of red flags that you saw leading up to it. If you think back now that we
She
know
was
the
in great
outcome.
shape, though. Everybody said, right?
Physically,
Physically, though. Physically.
she looked great, but like, what kind of sparring was she doing? You know, one of the things I was thinking when she was hitting pads, she's standing there hitting pads with Edmund. I was like, they're standing right in front of each other. Like she's not moving. Like she's just hitting pads. Pop, 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 pop.
Pads
pop,
are
pop.
tough to tell, though, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're doing it for the camera. If the countdown crew's there,
Of
you don't want to
course.
show your new shit. But also,
Right.
what did people think was going to happen? Like, did you think this whole time when she's shooting these movies, doing something, Edmund and her come up with a plan for her to stick on the outside, jab and move? That's not in her DNA.
That's not even
her
good enough
personality.
anyway. She had to close the distance and clinch. You know,
That should have been the only plan.
The idea of standing with Amanda Nunes is just ridiculous. The difference in punching power is like literally double.
But we've
Amanda
seen her
punches
fight big
twice as
punchers
hard.
before.
Who?
Betch could hit pretty hard.
No.
I'm not saying similar,
think
but
so.
no, I'm saying what Betch did. She was a
Betch
beast.
has decent power and she's very aggressive. She throws volume strikes, but she throws their arms. She doesn't hit nearly as hard as Amanda.
And
Amanda torques her whole body into shit.
I agree, Joe.
I mean, it's
And Betch's arms are this long.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
And that's all
Amanda's got
fine and
some
dandy.
Goddamn telephone poles.
And that's all fine, but don't you think the game plan should have been get her to the ground, engage,
course.
and she tried that a little bit.
she didn't shoot.
She was
though.
already lit up.
Yeah.
She wasn't there though mentally. That's why I'm saying there's things leading up to it, and I think the biggest red flag for me, and you know Dana better than anyone. He's a promoter through and through. One of the, if not the best of all time. I can't think of another one. Don King, I guess, but still, for him to say, "Yeah, you can skip all the media shit and just focus on the fight," I was like, God, that just doesn't seem right.
You know
man.
why? She's managed by or she's handled by William Morris in her Endeavor, WME.
Yes.
WME